Okay, I'm going to do another report here. This is mostly going to be covering the border and a couple other things that I wanted to discuss. I had remembered there was a story that came out in January of 2013. I believe that's the date of this article. Actually, yes, it is. Well, the story came out in January of last year. And there's a couple other things I want to cover too, about where they've been shipping the illegals and a couple other things. So here goes. I'm going to read from this. This article here, and I don't know if anybody remembers this. Obama closing air defense system on the Mexico border. Texas and America vulnerable to attack from low altitude missiles and aircraft. I don't know if anyone remembers this story, but I just kind of wanted to bring that up since our border is now unprotected, and we really don't have anybody down there really covering major parts of the border. So I just want to cover this, and I'm going to read it for you now. It says, outrage growing over Obama cutting Homeland Security, U.S. border air system defense. White House petition asks Obama not to shut down TAR's air defense system on border. That is the updates, but here is the article. It says, call your congressmen and senators immediately and demand that the recent budget cuts do not affect the security of America's borders. The federal government wastes billions of dollars on things they should not even be involved in, but securing our country's borders is one of the jobs that the federal government is actually supposed to do. Okay, now I'm going to have some commentary here. So I guess they've had this plan for a while. I mean, because this is in January of 2013. They were already taking down, air defense systems and shutting all that stuff down. So they had to have planned this ahead of time of what they were going to do. They already knew that they were going to be just leaving the borders wide open for anyone to come in. But I don't know if people know that, a lot of people know that they took down the air defense system. That's even worse. But I'm going to continue to read here. Obama has always pushed massive cuts in the military as part of any budget cuts he will accept in fiscal deals. Obama seems to be getting what he wants, and it will leave America's borders vulnerable in attacks and other infiltrations. Air Force air defense radar systems along U.S.-Mexico border will shut down on March 15th, 2013. So this has been shut down since that date. On January 17th, 2013, Elexis Systems Corporation sent out an email to all of its employees informing them that on March 15th, 2013, all TAR's air defense mission operations will permanently cease. The TAR's air defense sites were under the control of the United States Air Force. On January 15th, 2013, the Air Force informed I'm going to spell this out, okay, in case I'm not pronouncing it right. Elexis, I can't say it. The defense contractor running the TAR's sites, that the TAR's sites will be shut down. Elexis tried to negotiate with the Department of Homeland Security to see if they would take over the vital project, but it seems as though those negotiations have failed. What does this mean? This means the southern border of the United States of America will be more vulnerable to attack from low-flying aircrafts, low-altitude missiles, and other infiltrations such as smuggling. Speaking on the condition of anonymity, one Elexis employee had this to say about the announced closure of TAR sites. Not only will this closure mean hundreds of people will be out of jobs, but it also means our borders will not be safe, especially along the remote U.S.-Mexico border like in Texas. The defense radars detect low-flying aircraft infiltrating our borders. Without these defense radars, low-flying aircraft will go undetected. It will be open season for any drug, gun, slave smugglers, terrorists flying in with nukes, low-altitude missiles, or even a full-scale low-elevation invasion attack against America. According to the Air Force's website, the Tethered Aerostat Radar System, or TARS, is an aerostat-borne surveillance program using the aerostat as a stationary airborne platform for a surveillance radar. The system is capable of detecting low-altitude aircraft at the radar's maximum range by mitigating curvature of the earth and terrain masking limitations. TARS provides a detection and monitoring capability along the United States-Mexico border, the Florida Straits, and a portion of the Caribbean in support of the Department of Defense counter-drug program. The primary agencies using the TARS surveillance data include U.S. Northern Command in support of Customs and Border Protection, Air and Marine Operations Center, and Caribbean Air and Marine Operations Center, and U.S. Southern Command in support of Joint Interagency Task Force South. In addition to its counter-drug mission, TARS surveillance data also supports Northern American Aerospace Defense Command's Air Sovereignty mission for the continental United States. This is an email sent to all Alexis employees January 17, 2013, announcing closure of TARS air defense sites. Subject: TARS contract update. Tuesday, 15th of January 2013, we received a government request for a proposal, RFP, to de-scope and close the TARS program by the end of the fiscal year. The government indicated that it does not intend to exercise the final two option years for the TARS contract. In the RFP, the government also indicated its intent that the aerostat flight operations will cease on March 15, 2013, and that the remainder of the fiscal year will be used to deflate aerostat's disposition equipment and prepare sites for permanent closure. We are currently reviewing all the details of the RFP and evaluating the possible impacts on the program and our workforce. We continue to communicate with the government on this matter, and we will have more information in the coming days and weeks. The TARS program provides a critical capability to the U.S. government, and we will remain focused on providing that service in an uninterrupted and robust manner. The best thing we can do right now is to continue to provide the outstanding TARS support that has become the Alexis hallmark, while allowing the company and the government to continue discussions on how to best support our customer, the program, and our workforce. We will provide regular updates as we know more. Should you have a specific question, please address them to Tim Green, Program Manager. Okay, so that's the end of that article right here. And it's entitled, if you want to look it up, because several people covered it in their blogs, it's the title of that is Obama Closing Air Defense System on U.S./Mexico Border, Texas and America, vulnerable to attack from low-altitude missiles and aircraft. And Texas GOP vote put this out. But there's several other sources for this, and I'm sure you can find it. And I'll put the link down in the comment section. Now what I want to cover is the resemblance of these maps here that I have. Most of this is just like a strategic thinking. It's speculative, but if you look at the maps, I'm going to show you, you'll see what I mean. Okay, now this is where the illegals were transported. This is a map. Okay, and I want you to look at all these in red. I don't know if I can get it on here. I'm trying to do this where I can see. It is... I'm so bad at this. But anyways, I hope you can see this. But you see all the red markers here? Every single one of these that have major red markers is where the government has sent the illegals. Notice it surrounds most of the United States. Well, most of them are port cities. They are really, really compacted around all these port cities. Okay? So now what I'm going to show you is this is the other day there were several cities that had major internet outages. Missouri St. Louis was major, the ones where you see the red there. Now, they managed to get these people's internets back up and running, but my question is to anyone, do you think this was some kind of test? Because a whole lot of people lost their internet a couple days ago. So I wanted to cover that. I actually wanted to show this other map before this one, but I'm going to go ahead and go to this one. This other one, if I can get it on here. I had it right here. Here it is. Okay, this is the Ebola quarantine map. These are all the quarantine stations. There we go. These are all the quarantine stations. It would probably be better if I just do this. This is all the quarantine stations. Okay, notice all the little yellow markers? Looks familiar, doesn't it? Okay, so now I'm going to bring this other map up here to show you side by side. I wish I could do it side by side, but this is where they supposedly shipped all the illegals. If you see here, it's around the surroundings of the United States, okay, and they're majorly compacted in the port cities, where all our major ports are. Then the quarantine stations. Okay, same general areas. Basically, what I want to say about that is, now this is just my strategic thinking. I was watching not too long ago the Art of War that the History Channel put out. And I know a lot of people have probably seen that already, but I wanted to bring up the fact of the Vietnam section, when they started talking about Vietnam and how there was a massive attack on Tet. That's a holiday over there, and they had put all these people in strategic locations around there, and they had all decided to attack at once. Okay, if you look at these maps and you see what I'm going to get to, I guess I need to explain myself here. I don't know if y'all have heard of the rancher that went out on his property, and he had found rugs, and he had found, you know, where people had used for praying and stuff like that. And then he also found how they had it from Arabic to Spanish. So these people are learning how to speak Spanish, and they're not Spanish. And they're coming over and, you know, crossing the border and stuff like that. And you know, not all of them like us. So they're learning how to speak Spanish, saying they're Spanish, and now they've been shipped to all these surrounding states and stuff like that. But I'm going to put that video, it's like 7 minutes long. I'm going to post this on YouTube, and I'm going to put that at the end so you guys can kind of look at that, because it does show a map of that where they set up and everything like that. That way you can kind of see what I'm thinking here. And I'm hoping this isn't true. But I mean, the reason why I wanted to cover that 2013 article is because he planned this. I mean, why would you want to take down your defense system surrounding your country? That just makes no sense at all. And then they come on the news and they're like, ISIS, 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 ISIS. And then they put this guy Foley video out of this guy being beheaded. I mean, it's almost like they really want to scare us, but they don't want to take the precautions that they're supposed to be taking and putting our radar systems up and defending our borders. It just doesn't make any sense. And then I'll also add this other video to the end of this when I posted on YouTube. You had on Fox, a general came out and said that he thinks that there is enough evidence that he thinks that we should go into DEFCON 1. That is like the highest freaking level there is. And you know, when a general comes out and says that, that's pretty serious. But yet our borders are still open and we don't have any radar defense systems. What's going on, guys? I mean, even if you don't agree with me on my beliefs, my political beliefs, you still should be worried about this. I mean, no one's going to be safe if we have this enemy that wants to come in and kill us, and they've said they wanted to kill us, and they've actually came out and said they wanted to fly their flag above the White House. You've seen all the Christians being crucified and killed and shot by the hundreds and stuff, and then they're saying they want to come in and do this to us. There's something wrong with that. I just don't understand why people aren't getting upset about this, you know? Yeah, we have, you know, disagreements on social issues and stuff like that. But when it comes to our safety and our defense, that's something that we should be, like, coming together on. It's really serious. We should not be fighting about that point right there. Okay, I can understand if you want to argue about other stuff, but our defense should be coming first. We need to close the borders down, and we need to get our air defense systems back up. And, you know, we need to be protecting our country. It's just, there's no time for bullshit. No more bullshit. We're living in a kind of time right now where we need to be at our utmost, you know, really paying attention instead of arguing about stupid bullshit and get what we need to get done. But I also wanted to bring up this other article too because it's kind of important. It doesn't really have to do with the border, but I will say this. And I'm sure there's going to be a lot of people who disagree with me, and that's okay. You know, this is what I consider we the people media, which means if you disagree with me, fine, make your own videos. Okay? You can make your own videos. You can... I'm doing this because I'm stepping up my game. I'm worried about my country, and I love my country, and I worry about the citizens of this country. I worry about my kids' future. So what we're going to talk about here is there's an article that came out called Additional $3 Gas Tax to Take Effect January 1st, 2015. Okay, the reason why I wanted to bring this up too is because people need to know about this. If I was you, if you're a prepper or if you're not a prepper, I would be going out and getting a barrel and filling it up with gas, and then putting you some kind of treatment in there so that it will last longer. I mean, you could still use it and just fill it, you know, refill it up every once in a while, because nobody's going to want to be paying. I know we pay like almost $4 a gallon here, so that's what, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's almost, well, probably about $8 or more, in some cents, a gallon. Then you have people that work for minimum wage. There you go. Obama wants to raise the minimum wage, so how is he going to get his way if Congress doesn't want him to do it? Or if Congress doesn't want to pass it? Well, let's see, let's just raise the gas tax. No. That's just going to make everything worse. You're making it harder on people who are living in poverty. It's not making it better. Imagine if someone's, you know, got a job and everything, and they're having to ride the bus to work every morning, but they're putting their money back to save to get a, you know, a car to drive to work. And yeah, oh, finally they got the money saved up to do this, and then now they got to pay $8 a gallon in gas, and all their paycheck goes into it. That's stupid. So anyways, I'm going to read this. Hopefully I have enough time on my phone. It says, in the title again, additional $3 gas tax to take effect January 1st, 2015. And the National Report put this out, so I guess it's nationalreport.com. An environmental bill long championed by the Obama administration and environmental groups was quietly signed into law this week. The bill, initially expected to fail, was bolstered by last-minute support from a group of moderate Republicans seeking re-election in predominantly Democratic-leaning states. The bill strengthens environmental pollution penalties, emission standards, and creates a surprising new $3 a gallon increase on gasoline. So, just so you can see this, here's the article. Okay. Many House members who voted for the bill say they are shocked by the significant tax increase on gasoline included in it, and claimed that they were unaware of its inclusion. Of course they were unaware! Miss Nancy Pelosi, just sign the bill so you can see what's in it. Kind of bullshit, huh? Well, maybe you should read it before you sign, huh? Wow. And claimed that they were unaware of its inclusion. At over 1,000 pages long, many of the subsections of the bill likely remained unread by congressional appointees or their aides. The tax authorization was buried in a supplemental section dealing with otherwise minor changes to infrastructure standards. The $3 tax appears to be earmarked to a newly created environmental fund that will be used to modernize transportation infrastructure, making it more energy efficient, environmentally friendly. A provision in the bill allows for redistribution of funds for the green projects with approval of the House Environmental Committee following the completion of the modernization overhaul mandated by the new law. Okay, I just got to stop right here. Okay. I understand that people want to save the earth, okay? I get it. And I think we should recycle, and I think that we should do the best that we can to try to help the earth, okay? You should not take from the earth more than you need. You should not hurt, harm, or purposely harm the earth. But you have all these electric companies, okay, who have a monopoly on electricity. Why don't you just give people the opportunity? Now, I'm not saying the government has to pay for all this or everybody has to do it. But you should give people that live in the city the opportunity to independently put up their own solar or wind turbines. Okay, that would help a lot. But they won't do that. They don't want to do that. You know why? Because they can't make any money off of it. They can't make any money. I mean, most of this is a money's game. This is another thing I was, like, in my last video, I was talking about how, you know, what separates us is social issues and stuff, and you know, most people will follow a certain person if they agree on that certain issue. But in the process, under tyranny, you lose all your other rights in the process. Okay? It's just it's insane. You know, they're using you, okay? They're using these groups, and they're using other people, knowing that if they say, oh, we're going to do this for the earth and all this stuff like that, they get all the people who are really that have a high belief in the earth and stuff like that, and taking care of it. They're going to follow them, and but the government's going to use you, and these corporations and all these people that are behind this that know they're going to make money off of it, they're using you as a tool to make more money. It's not about the earth to them. It's about the money. Okay? They're putting, okay, and I know you know this. Okay? So you can't argue with me on this. They're putting GMOs in our food, and they're putting fluoride in our water system. Fluoride is a toxic waste product, and they're putting it in our water, and we're drinking it. I just had a friend tell me the other day that she had a tumor taken out of her, and it was fluoridated. Okay? So fluoride doesn't just go on your teeth. It goes in your body, and it calcifies things inside your body. So we need to understand, and we need to think independently, and we need to quit believing everything we're told in the media. Okay? We need to start doing our research and looking at different stuff, because not everything that you're hearing is the truth, because most of these news stations are owned by the corporations. But they're only covering the issues you want them to cover because they know they can use you as a tool. I mean, you might disagree with me, you might get pissed off at me about this, but I'm just being honest, okay? Because I've looked at both sides of this situation, both sides of it. I've looked at, I've researched the articles and everything like that, and the propaganda is insane right now. But, this is kind of a long article. I guess I can read the rest of it. Or, no, never mind. I'm just kind of all over the place. I just kind of got some sad news today, so my mind's just kind of everywhere. But I just wanted to make sure that I covered this and put this out. I guess I could put the links to these articles in my comments on Facebook, and I guess I'll put it on YouTube too, so people can go to it and read it, so that way they know I'm not, just blowing smoke. But I guess I'm gonna get off here, and then I know this is kind